After a grand success of Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2012 and we receiving overwhelming responses of our viewers, we're back with the first audition round of Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2013 produced by Today's Youth Asia. The debaters are divided into 6 categories, 2 languages and 3 educational level. After the selection from the audition round, the debaters will enter into a series of competition round where one winner from each category will be announced and the 7th winner will be a special mention, and that is how we'll crown the Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2013.
We now begin with the audition round in the category of grades 7, 8 and 9.
In this debate, I have been given the topic, Zoo is a good concept to see wild animals, and I am speaking against the motion. Well, what visitors see in a zoo is a lot different compared to the strong and flexible creatures of the wild. Here, I mean to say that animals that are meant to be in the wild should be there roaming freely in the wild, but we greedy humans polluted the earth and stole most of their habitat. I feel that animals should not be stuck all crammed up in the zoos. Rather, they should be given opportunity to enjoy the natural surrounding. The surrounding created by the nature is indeed the best surrounding for the animals. Similarly, zoos are also miserable places for the animals. Zoos cannot provide the space animals have in the wild. According to CAPS, Captive Animal Protection, animals like tigers and lions have around 18,000 times less space in the zoos than they have in the wild. Similarly, when an animal is kept in the zoo, its natural characteristics are gradually lost. For instance, a lion kept in the zoo can no more kill its prey, a deer in the jungle. Food and space are not only the affected parts of zoo life of animals, there are also other parts. International Zoo News also tells us that lions in the zoos spend more than 48% of their time in pacing, which is one of the behavioral problems. Moreover, Sunday Times also tells that animals like tigers are killed in the zoo for their beautiful skin. I would like to say that keeping animals in the zoo violates the animals' rights too. So it is not simply justifiable to lock the animals in the zoo and limit their life like that. When we hear that innocent humans have been kept in the prison, we feel that human rights is being violated. But when we see with our own eyes that innocent animals have been locked in the zoo, why can't we simply think that animal rights is being violated? In my opinion, animals are to be kept in protected parks such as national parks and wildlife reserves where they can enjoy their life freely. To sum up, I would like to tell that zoos are responsible for animal cruelty and they can never be a good concept to see wild animals. Thank you.
I will be speaking for the topic, students' reading material should be monitored by their parents and teachers, and I will be speaking for the motion. Experiments can lead to addictions. We have very common examples of how experimenting with drugs or alcohol can lead to addiction. Similarly, reading or experimenting with books can also cultivate that into an addiction. However, everything we read is not good. There are various erotic novels and books related to violence and crimes in our society. A young student might pick up a book without knowing its content. As he reads through it, he might find that the book is not appropriate for his age. If the reader is a young child, he might blurt out what he has read in public. Now, won't that be a source of embarrassment for his family? Our society definitely looks down upon reading such things. Now, if such a thing really does happen, the parents will have to face the brunt for bad parenting. Won't they want to pour out their anger at the source of their embarrassment, namely the child? Now imagine the child punished for something he had no knowledge of. Are you still against monitoring? If you are, let me give you another example. A friend of my father's really loved and trusted his daughter a lot. So in the course of college, when she requested a computer for research, he provided it immediately. A few months later, when he became curious as to what goes on behind closed doors, he got the shock of his life. The computer was not being used for educational purposes. The daughter went into depression and dropped out of school, and her father lost all trust in her. Doesn't this show the importance of monitoring? If he had monitored her from time to time, this mishap would never have occurred. In today's society, computers are an important part of reading. With the various ebooks available for sale and even for free, the world has moved beyond paper boundaries. And with various applications, such things can even be downloaded into mobile phones. The opportunities are endless, but with a little monitoring, any situations can be avoided. I'm not accusing every student of being the same way. There might be some who genuinely want to read books. But even in such a case, monitoring can be helpful. The parents or teachers can guide the students to learn to the best literature of their genre. So, doesn't this help? Now, people wanting to contradict me will probably say that the privacy of the students is being breached. Now, but I want to question them. Don't parents want what's best for their children? Don't they want to know what's going on in their lives? If they do, then what's the problem? I myself am a student interested in literature. I have no problem telling my parents about the content of the books that I read. If the students themselves are honest and open, then there is no breaching of privacy, as there are no secrets. But if there are skeletons in your closet, then don't your parents deserve to know? Thank you.
My topic is zoo is a good concept to see wild animals, and I'm speaking for the motion. Zoos are built to preserve endangered species and also to expose wild animals to people like us, because we don't get to see animals running in the streets like we see in the villages, mainly in the context of city areas, because due to deforestation and industrialization, all the natural habitats of wild animals has been destroyed. Zoos also provide a reproduction spot for endangered species, so they can reproduce their younger ones and keep their generation going on. Zoos help doctors and scientists to invent new medicines, to discover new techniques to preserve those endangered species, which are mainly wild animals, so that they can be seen by our future generations also. Zoos help every of us by giving us practical knowledges about wild animals, about their ways of living and about their reactions as well. Zoos don't only give entertainment to the public, but they also aim to give education so that we can learn about those animals and get good knowledge about them. My opponent friends may say that animals are captured in small pens and cages, which is inhumanity. But in my opinion, I think that zoos provide a good place for animals so they can get a good privilege from it. They can enjoy staying there. Animals don't have the idea what's the outer place like, except for the place they live in. Until they get good food, they get good place to live in, they don't have to think about starvation, they don't have to worry about dangers. That's the place where they enjoy living in. So we cannot say that animals, the freedom for animals has been taken away. So zoo is a good concept to see wild animals. Thank you.
I am here to speak for the motion of the topic. Students' reading materials should be monitored by their parents and teachers. Students, they are very young to discriminate between what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So they need parents and teachers' help to choose them what is good for them. And the same applies with reading materials. There are both good and bad kinds of reading materials in form of books, newspapers, internet, magazines and many more. If the parents and teachers do not monitor the students' reading materials, then maybe students will read materials in negative influence, which will ultimately harm to the student. Now, my opponent may argue saying that saying that if the elder person monitors the students reading materials, then you will have no more freedom. But what is the use of that freedom? Which will just eventually destroy our whole life? Or is my opponent arguing, saying that the momentary freedom is more important than the person's whole life? Parents and teachers. If parents and teachers do not monitor the students' reading materials, due to which the student will go to wrong path and he or she will destroy his or her life, then tomorrow the blame will come to the parents and teachers. So don't you think that for parents and teachers prevention is better than cure? So and should the parents in time monitor the students' reading materials? Thank you.
Here I am speaking in for the motion on the topic students' reading materials should be monitored by the parents and teachers. I would like to begin with the proverb said by Dr. Hemjinath. He said, "Children are like wet cement. Whatever falls on them makes an impression." As we know that whatever shape we give to wet cement, it will be shaped in that way. Similarly, we students are those who are in the preliminary learning phase of their life. That means in this period, besides academic education, they learn about their life and learn to shape their life. So, your student will be shaped in a way how they are guided to be shaped. Now, relating to our topic, if students are monitored what they are reading, then parents and teachers can exactly know what they are reading. If found reading wrong materials, then that can be corrected. Here, I would like to question why we read. Yes, we read to learn things and to gain knowledge. So, while choosing reading materials, only those reading materials are to be chosen which helps to benefit us and provide the knowledge that we should gain. Therefore, parents and teachers need to monitor and suggest the correct reading materials for the progress of students. Now today in this 21st century, variety of reading materials are found, such as books, e-books, magazines, newspaper, internet and many more. Type a word in Google and learn whatever you want to learn. Now these things can be looked from positive aspect too. But referring to our topic, if students are not monitored what they are reading, then they may fall in a wrong path. They may misuse the access of internet, choose the wrong articles and magazines to read, which may create something negative that they should not learn. So monitoring is needed. Well, someone has rightly said that we worry about what a child becomes tomorrow, yet we forget that he or she is someone today. Here I mean, parents and teachers need to monitor and suggest the correct reading materials for the progress of students. To make you believe, I can give you my one example. When I was in grade 7, I just spoiled my first terminal examination. No one at my house monitored me, how I am reading and how serious I am in my studies. And the result was poor performance. After that, I was strictly monitored and guided, and the outcome was that I gained 15% more than in first term. Then I realized, oh, if you are guided, monitored and noticed by parents, some sort of fear will be inside you, not to move in a wrong way and not to lie them, and you will be serious in what you are doing. Therefore, parents and teachers, please focus on the present of your children and the future of that children will be bright. By saying this much, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
I'll be speaking against the topic that Facebook is a distraction for educational development. I'm from St. Mary's High School, starting in class 9. Let us suppose there is a matchstick. If we use it to burn a house, then it is a destructive material. But if we use it to lit up a candle, then it gives us light. Mark Zuckerberg has invented a matchstick, Facebook. Now it's up to us how we use it. Facebook, which was only a social networking site a few years back, is now a platform to stay updated about latest news and facts. Educational development does not happen merely through memorizing course books and earning a degree. It is not just related to marks. No, it happens through gaining knowledge. And yes, Facebook is that place where you can learn things. Facebook has been used to revolutionize communication, marketing, and promotion. So why can't it be used to revolutionize education? It can be. It can be used in schools as a learning tool because most of the students are already the users of Facebook. So, implementing it into class provides a comfortable way for them to participate in different activities of the class. It might even allow shy students to come up and communicate and interact with their teachers and peers. The informality inherent in Facebook's connections lends to yet another reason to why the students may be more willing to participate in class activities. Similarly, teachers can also have the students follow news feeds relevant to their course material in order to keep the current information flowing through the class. Facebook isn't a distraction. Rather, it helps in educational development. How? Because Facebook can engage students in online education using technologies familiar to them and accepted by their generation. It can be helpful in collaboration of different schools, both national as well as international. It brings about a vast pool of students with differing ideas together, making education more effective. So, I repeat, it's up to us how we use Facebook. So what if some of us have soft spot for addiction? Doesn't mean that we can blame it on Facebook, can we? It's a human flaw, so how can we blame it on Facebook? Others may say that Facebook makes our mind dull and keeps the students' mind off their studies. But is it really true? Because we come home from school, for example, and start using Facebook, speak with people, start chatting with people, and the first question that we are asked most commonly is, did you finish your homework? Or how is your studies going on? Have you got any test coming up? Are you ready for it? How are we supposed to be distracted by something that we are reminded all the time by each and every person that we talk to? So, I repeat, Facebook is a matchstick. You can either use it to burn a house or light up a candle. It all depends on how you fully and correctly utilize the most amazing innovations of this era. Thank you.
विगत 10 वर्षदेखि टुडेज युथ एसियाले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरको वैकल्पिक शिक्षा प्रदान गर्दै आएको छ। हालसम्म 1200 विद्यार्थीहरू 20 वटा भन्दा बढी मुलुकहरूमा राम्रो छात्रवृत्ति प्राप्त गरेर पढिरहेका छन्। समूह 1 कक्षा 4, 5 र 6, समूह 2 कक्षा 7, 8, 9 र 10, समूह 3 कक्षा 11 र 12 लाई लक्षित गरेर टुडेज युथ एसियाले प्रदान गर्दै आएको विभिन्न वैकल्पिक शिक्षा, लिडरशिप एन्ड स्किल डेभलपमेन्ट प्रोग्राम र स्कुल रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ मिडिया ट्रेनिङ हुन्। यी वैकल्पिक शिक्षा बिदा र छुट्टीका दिनहरूमा पढ्न मिल्ने गरी रुटिन मिलाइएको हुन्छ। यसकारण शनिबारको छुट्टीको दिन अथवा लामो बिदाको बेला आइतबारदेखि शुक्रबारसम्म 10 देखि 19 वर्षसम्मका छोराछोरीलाई टुडेज युथ एसियाको वैकल्पिक शिक्षा र बौद्धिक कार्यक्रममा एडमिसन गराउन सक्नुहुनेछ। सम्पर्क फोन नम्बर 4257250, इमेल utya@gmail.com, ठेगाना टुडेज युथ एसिया, गौतम बुद्ध मार्ग, अनामनगर, काठमाडौँ।
Today's Youth Asia presents Nepal's top 7 debaters. Every Friday 8 p.m. and every Saturday 2:30 p.m. on NTV Plus.
Today's Youth Asia opens school representative media training for students of grade 7, 8, 9 and 10.
Best utilization of holiday time during Saturdays. Selection process is not required. First come, first serve.
Whether you're a class topper or not, you can still become a winner in life if you join TYA trainings at an early age.
Learn to speak in public, learn to debate on stage, learn to write articles and television scripts, participate in English television programs, discuss on national and international issues.
Today's Youth Asia, phone number 425-7250. Our email address is youthtya@gmail.com.
Parents' best gift to their child that will last a lifetime.
We now begin with the audition round in the category of grade 10, 11 and 12. For the next debaters of grade 10, 11 and 12, the topics are Nepali students going abroad for studies should come back and work for Nepal's development. Nepal should focus on Asia for economic prospects rather than relying on the West. the fight against child labor is being lost. Fairness cream advertisements contribute to racism.
Today I am going to speak for the topic Nepal should focus on Asia for economic prospects rather than relying on the West. Asia is the largest continent. It is the continent with huge economic prospects like China, India, Japan, South Korea, Indonesia and many more such nations. Now, the idea of Nepal relying on the West, it is like underestimating the capability of our own family member and depending on our neighbors for things or products that are no more beneficial. I wonder, whom do you think would like to pay a 10% more money for the same product which you can get at a cheaper rate? It is the same when we export products from the West. Exporting product to the West increases the carry charge and our commodities become expensive. Similarly, when we import goods from West, our expenses get added up. But when we import goods from Asia, we get fresher and cheaper products. This not only increases the economy of those Asian countries but also benefits Nepal in one way or the other. Economists today predict that the future will be on the hands of Asian nations. Asian economies have been achieving remarkable productive catch-up in various sectors. Asian countries are now capable of conquering even the global market, whereas the West is facing a threat. Asian GDP is growing remarkably, whereas the West is facing an economic recession. Now, talking about the various economic prospects of Asia like China, India and Japan, it is found that their products have overflown even the Western market. We are well known to the fact that China has grown to tenfold. It is a emerging country with economic growth far more exceeded than most of any other nation. Japan is one of the leading authorities in economy and India is the third largest country in the world by purchasing power parity. When we have such huge flaming economies in our own vicinage, I do not find any reason for Nepal to rely on the West for economic prospects. Thank you.
My debate topic is on the war against child labor is lost, and I'm speaking for it. Yes, I believe that the war against child labor is lost. You might think I'm pessimistic or not optimistic with my point of view, but seeing the present context, everything, do we really think the war against child labor is going on? I mean, people really don't even care about what child labor is. Every day we walk around the street, we see small kids smoking cigarettes or doing drugs, different kinds of things. Those kids don't even have the privilege of getting proper educations. So the context of child rights, the context of child labor, everything is off the pace for us. For the country like us, it's everything off the page because we really merely don't even care. The organizations we have set up for this kinds of activities merely don't even care about. All they do is set up some seminars, talk about it, but nothing is seen. By far, till today's date, I believe that the war against child labor is totally lost. I don't know about the future. I don't know what tomorrow is going to be like, but today the war against child labor is lost.
I'm speaking for the motion. And the topic is, the fight against child labor is being lost. Today, in this contemporary age of 21st century, at a halt in various parts and many regions of the world, the statement, that is, the fight against child labor is being lost, is playing a very vital, and of course, yes, an earth-shaking role in the world. Children do not understand the time concept. Child labor is widespread and bad for the development, both that of the individual child and of the economy and society in which she or he lives. If allowed to persist to the current extent, child labor will prevent the achievements of the Millennium Development Goals of halving poverty and achieving education for all. Nearly the world's governments have ratified the International Human Rights Conventions, which call for the elimination of child labor and the provision of universal primary education, and fulfilling these commitments is of critical importance for the development. Various NGOs and INGOs are working for the children, but out of them, only few organizations are working very clearly and properly for the betterment and for the development of the children. Children do not understand the money concept as well. They are not working for money, they are working because someone told them to sit down and sew a button, which is very much bad for the personal development and for the development of the nation. Over 200 million children between 5 to 14 years of age are spreading and are getting trouble worldwide. Thus, I too believe in the proclamation or statement that was once said by the Bill Gates. That is, let us all take more and more responsibilities, not only for ourselves and our families, but for our communities and our country. That day is not far, so nevertheless, let us all come closer, unite together, and yes, fight against child labor. Thank you.
Today, my topic is Nepal should focus on Asia for economic prospects rather than relying on the West. Nepal is a developing country. We need support from everywhere that we can. We are very underdeveloped and poor, and we do not have all the aspects that we need for development. We need help, and we are getting help from India, from China, and from all over the world. But if we have a casualty, like if we have a flood, and America is willing to help us by providing us money, do we say that no, we don't want your money? We'll only take money from all the Asian countries. Is that right? I don't think so. Help is the important thing. I believe that we should consider whether the help is genuine, whether it will help us develop, rather than thinking about where we get the help from. First, for example, let's take the example of a beggar. A beggar sitting on the streets. If a person comes and gives him money, will he think, this person is not of my religion, this person is black, or this person is white, he's not like me? Or will he just take the money and enjoy? I think that the help is more important. So Nepal should not only limit its economic prospects to Asian countries, but also to the West. Also, Nepal, all the Asian countries like Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, they're in the developing phase, just like Nepal. They're not like America or UK, and they are self-developing. And expecting them to help us would be a little silly, because they themselves are in need of help. I think that help is important rather than where we get the help from. We talk about discrimination. We talk about racism. We say that racism is not right. We say that we should not discriminate people on the basis of caste, gender. But then we are self-creating a border of Asia and West, East, West, South. We create all the borders, and we say that we'll only take help from Asia because we are Asians. I think that that is wrong, because it creates discrimination. It creates a very bad environment in the world. So thus, I think that Nepal should not only rely on Asia for economic prospects, but it should keep an open mind, a broader mind, and it should take help from wherever it can. Thank you.
Congratulations to the debaters who have been selected today. We would like to invite you to join today's Youth Asia's alternative education programs open for students from grade 7 till grade 12 and bachelor's level.
For the details on application, you can call the TYA office at 425-7250 or write an email to us at youthtya@gmail.com. If you as a viewer want to send us the debate topics for our upcoming episodes, you can log on to our Facebook page at facebook.com/top7debaters and post the topics of your interest. We will be back next week at the same time. Have a nice week.